Hasan, I wanted to talk to you about your experiences, being on Twitch and the kind of, I don't know, like a sort of weird and very specific culture of Twitch that, these kids are into. Our friends are sort of the Satellite, the FYM boys. They have their own Twitch stream that we love, and they're doing a lot of stuff with that.
I
Felix
try to
is
get
training.
them. I try to get them to participate in Twitch culture as much as possible, but they refuse for some weird reason. So don't let them fool you. Like, they are the boomers of Twitch.
That is frightening.
Oh my God!
You're about.
They already seem just hopelessly gone.
Yeah.
No, he knows. I try to get him to get like emotes and stuff, like BTTV emotes. I'm not going to get too deep into it. Some of the people that follow you already follow my channel and Chapo as well, obviously.
There's some overlap, but I'm interested. Like the thing, like I know you told me about this before, and I've talked about it with like with Aaron and Felix and them. Like, my prejudice going into this, like thinking about what the culture and community of Twitch is like, is like the gamer stereotype of sort of reactionary young man.
Which is why I joined the platform originally. This is not a joke. So when I first joined Twitch, I was like, this is relatively new. I need a place to build habitual viewership anyway, because I'm on Facebook duty at TYT, and everyone that watches Facebook news now is like 68 years old plus, so it's awful. I mean, they vote, but whatever. They don't care for my leftist takes regardless. They think I'm trying to separate the party as a Kremlin agent. So so I got on Twitch because I knew that like this is a young audience, mostly male, probably prone to reactionary politics, but their political idols are a bunch of idiots. I mean, they don't know anything. And all the takes that they've heard, heard about like leftist politics have been just straw men from the likes of Steven Crowder and Ben Shapiro and all these other people.
Yeah,
so,
YouTube like pedants.
Yeah, exactly. And it's always as
They've
you guys
been left
also,
to their own devices, and it's not good. It's very Lord of the Flies.
Yeah,
But at the same time, Twitch is this like huge phenomenon that's like seemingly inaccessible to like someone like me, but like among the Zoomers, the teens,
it's super insular. So most people don't know what the hell's going on at Twitch, but they are so active. Like they are so active. They're young. They're constantly on the platform, and they watch my streams for 6 hours on average, which is insane. They're all neats. So they all love Andrew Yang. They all love
okay.
Yeah. So they all want $1,000. They want their neat bucks, and so they
open your third eyes.
Yeah.
What is the money to you if your soul is encumbered and darkened? Let's look into the light of Marianne mindset.
But in your in your streaming and interactions with this community, like coming from a left wing perspective or point of view, like what do you find as like what resonates to them, or like do you find that you are convincing them, or is it like what about a point of view that you're bringing? Yeah, like what do they respond to you about that?
The memes for the most part, and also here's the thing.
But also, do they know what you look like?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I guess we understand why you have a big teenage audience.
Yeah,
so there's that. I have a
it don't hurt.
For sure, that's definitely a part of it. But the thing is, like, they don't have a lot of access to proper leftist representation. That's why I love Chapo, because you guys do a great job of representing leftist values by being dirtbags, but also talking about the material, things that are important, right? And they're definitely fed up with all of the cultural elements that we talk about, the minutia that don't actually impact people's lives, especially if you're apolitical and privileged in some respects. So when someone comes in and is like, oh no, both parties are pretty bad, and here's what we should be doing like the rest of the world, and this is why it's wrong. And as a leftist, I'm not similar to the hysterical blue-haired college SJW compilation video representative of the left. They're like, oh, this is a little different than what I expected the left to be like.
Right.
But at the same time, like you get the feeling that like in their social context, like offline, like that these are like sort of outcasts, the outcasts of the communities that they're in, or just they don't feel like they fit in.
Oh, for sure. I mean, dude, they spend 6 to 8 hours on Twitch.
But literally, does anyone that age fit into anything anymore? I mean, like these, like they seem really atomized. Like all young people now seem really
that's
atomized.
where I really do feel like, and I try to resist this, I really do feel like computers are fundamentally changing social relationships because
the internet, not computers per se, Grandpa.
Okay.
The computer is.
You got a big bank of spinning cartridges.
No, he
tapes.
likes the computers because that's where he watches his programs. But other than
programs on the computer, no, the internet, because as you say, at that age nobody fits it anywhere.
Yeah.
But in the old days, you didn't have a choice. Now, if that pressure is too much, and for most of us it is at some point or another, you can opt out. You can drop out and go online and have a simulated version of that
Right.
life where there's much less risk and danger and awkwardness.
social
and,
simulacrum.
simulacrum with only the good stuff, only the dopamine. And so a lot of people making that choice, and that's a choice previous misfits didn't have, and that made them sort of push through it. And now a lot of people don't feel they have to push through it because they could just go
They
online.
can retreat,
Exactly.
And the
Yeah,
option
but the
of
alternative
retreat
is scary.
shouldn't be. The option of retreat shouldn't be there. Maybe you need to be like bullied a little bit, just a little bit.
Just push, go, keep
They
going.
said there's
Just put
some
your head down and go through it.
psychiatrist that was saying like the way to healthy growth is a series of small to mid-sized manageable traumas.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, that makes
too
a lot of
big,
sense.
and it's like you're gonna crack your brain like an egg. But nothing, you just become gelatinous,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I think that's why they're so malleable on YouTube, and all that right wing commentary gets super popular there because it's a sense of belonging. If you feel like you're pushed away and disenfranchised as like a young boy living in Idaho or whatever, then you have a sense of community of like minded individuals who also hate the SJWs and the libtards
Well,
and
the
like
fact
to own them.
too that these things are so like the YouTube video thing are just like a guy talking into a screen. I mean, we joke about podcasts being friendship simulators or whatever, but this is like a conversation simulator. Like
Yeah, it's
there's
somebody in
no
your room.
they're really low quality. They don't like light anything. They don't go to it for that. That's not what it's about. There's not even any interest in making it look, like a produced show half the time. These people want their dad, Jordan Peterson, to give them a lecture. Like that's literally what it is.
And they've gotten to the point where they can only recognize interactions that come that way. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sure that most of these people who had their mind blown by Jordan Peterson had been told by their parents to clean the room about 500 goddamn times. And it never for a second penetrated because it was in the
Because they've been on the
context of
internet
this
since birth.
awful meat space that they don't get to
Yeah.
edit. And it's only one somebody like goes through like the signifiers that tell them that there's someone to listen to, and they say, "Have you considered cleaning your room?" They're like, "Oh my God, you're a genius."
No, there's a social aspect to Twitch, but like the meat and potatoes. And tell me if I'm wrong. Is still just playing video games with your friends or watching.
Yeah, that's
other
changing
people
too.
Play video games. It's becoming more of an open source, just interaction of any kind or commentary like what you're doing. Or,
Yeah, and luckily and surprisingly, they're not. I mean, they've only come down hard on me once or twice. One for watching a Michael Moore documentary, and there was gore, so I got banned.
Was it
and
when
then-
they killed the rabbits and
No, it was actually I was talking about Latin American intervention, and I think it was like apart from Bowling for Columbine, and there was gore, like real dead bodies.
Okay, yeah.
It was a bullshit ban, but
Yeah.
but ultimately, like, I mean, what I was gonna say is like they are pretty good at banning hate speech, and they're really hands on. So
It's more
there's not a lot of
moderated than a
right-wingers.
lot of the internet.
There's not a lot of
yeah.
right wingers on the platform, and there are a lot of left wingers now on the platform. A lot of leftists, like Destiny's another one who you guys share members in your community with, who debates like all of these people on the right, and he does a really good job. And he has that same like Ben Shapiro style of like logic and reasoning, and I'm going to debate you. He's not a chud, I swear. He's cool, but he does a really good job of converting a lot of these kids because all they care about is their side winning or being on the winning team and ownage and bloodshed.
I mean, for a certain age group of man, like we kind of like laugh about the idea of debate because it's sort of a prissy schoolboy's pursuit or whatever. It's the masculinity of nerds. But for a certain age of young boys, like that's how they do things. I remember like Angela was talking about when she taught, she said, like, young women are, and I think a lot of this has to do with like just sort of being socialized in kind of conformist ways where you're more likely to be punished for a dissident opinion if you're a girl. And guys, she said, sort of like really young ones, like, 17, 18, start out by just picking a position and being like, this is the thing I believe. But that doesn't mean that they're actually committed to it because it's just the shoes they're wearing that week or whatever. And so they are more receptive to it's almost like a youthful like stage of development, like debate or something like that. And we've kind of eliminated the idea of conversation from like political discourse. But when you are that age, like especially if you're maybe a guy and you sort of like are just trying on an identity for the first time, like you kind of have to talk to them. There's no getting around talking to them.
The thing is, they love it because it's mental MMA.
Mind combat.
Yeah, it's mind combat. They don't want to watch the crude spectacle of those jocks punching each other, but a mental combat. No, that's entertaining.
That would also make sense as to why Ben Shapiro is so popular, is by being a giant nerd and incredibly boring. And
that's the thing. People say, why would you want to listen to this droning nerd?
No one else is doing it.
Because you are one and you relate to him.
Yeah. It also makes him feel smart, too.
Oh, yeah.
Sam Harris and all these other IDW guys.
I mean, who is like on his face an idiot. Like
yeah, but these people don't know anything.
He's like a genuinely dumb guy.
Yeah.
But what he does is a very good impression of like an intelligent person.
That's an ad hominem, by the way.
Yeah,
Will,
okay.
so,
Yeah. But I mean, in terms of like another form of combat, what do you make of like the most popular video games that people play? Obviously, like Fortnite, we've joked about it before.
Oh,
but
God.
Like that kind of this battle royale.
That's just because it's like free, right?
But people spend a shitload of money on it to dress in different costumes and stuff.
But it is like I do think that the materialist explanation is like a low price point for entry.
Yeah,
you might not take the leap on something that complicated and kind of a baroque game like that if they charged for it.
I paid $50 for
that's why the other games don't actually succeed as well as Fortnite did, because they charge. Like Call of Duty Black Ops is not as popular as Fortnite because it's not free.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people who just simply can't pay $60 for a game.
Well, but you say it's free, but I still paid $50 for my Stephen Paddock skin.
Oh God.
My opponents, their sushi is comped every time. But so is it really just popular because it's free? Why is it still popular?
I think that's a big part of it. Well,
it seems like it's
because they
so
constantly
long.
reinvent themselves. So the game mechanics are consistent, right? It's a battle royale. You get dropped in. There's an element of like randomness to it, and you're trying to accumulate as many resources as possible. So I think Hegelbon had like a piece on, I forget.
He did, yeah, about how it's
he
like
talked about like the capitalist element of it.
Scarcity, yeah.
Yeah. So I think they do play on that a little bit, which is interesting. But the reason why it's so successful is because they take feedback like crazy from the fan base, and they're constantly tweaking it. So the game throughout the different seasons kind of changes, and it changes along with like user feedback. The mechanics are still the same. You're still shooting, but there are new guns. The dynamic is different. So it's almost like it's a new game all the time, and it's free.
Well, it might be a new game all the time, and that might help you get some new subscribers and keep some. But you're on the urge. I'm not talking to you, but Epic, you're on the verge of losing one of your most dedicated customers, because Felix, who's been playing Fortnite 30 hours a day for the past year, is now on suicide watch because they stretched the res. Is that what
they took away the FOV slider?
Yeah, they took away the field of vision. Yeah, they took away the field of vision slider, so it's stuck now. And Felix was very comfortable with his field of vision that he slid it to.
Well,
he's very unhappy.
But
Yeah.
I think there is something to like. Obviously, like you get them hooked with the free sample, so like the free thing is a good thing.
Yeah, like crack.
Exactly. No, I did not make that comparison lightly. And then the fact that you acquire things is like very like it's like it does seem like collecting resources like maybe appeals to some kind of acquisitive thing, especially maybe for a generation that's like completely hopeless about like, you know, ever buying a house or getting married or having children or anything
And
like that.
there's also a lot of building in Fortnite, so you can sort of build a little
Yeah,
gazebo.
you can have a little legacy for that game.
The
you know?
little pine deck that you'll never have.
Yeah.
It goes away immediately because they shoot it down.
But at least you can have an effect on the world. I think maybe it does like poke your brain in special little primitive places.
But it's just it's like the concept is, you know, it's like 100 people on an island. You team up. You go to war with each other.
That sounds cool. It's the Lego part that I feel like.
Yeah, I'm
I
not a
would
fan
find
of that. Also, I think you should be able to either kill your opponent or seduce them. And then at the end of it, you win either by killing all your opponents or seducing them all.